जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you, Irfan and the team, the technical team. I welcome our beloved Honorable Governor, Dr. Tamilisai Garu, who has given a kind enough to give a consent for us, teachers. She's also a teacher. According to my knowledge, she is a professor. She works as a medical professor. She's a good writer. She's a good orator. So she worked many facets. She has many facets, in academic excellence also, administrative excellence also. So I welcome, Madam, grand welcome, because you are a very kind-hearted governor. Because in my tenure, I have seen a very kind-hearted governor, a people's governor, a dynamic governor who is concerned with the COVID crisis, the real leadership. She showed the real leadership, for the Telangana state, the first woman Telangana state governor. I grand welcome, madam, once again. I thank you for coming over here. Now I request, I also welcome Professor Venkatrao Garu, who is the best teacher, best researcher, and the best human being. Is an excellent orator. So is my guru. Is a master of masters. Is a guru of gurus. So I great welcome, sir, for this August gathering, and I also welcome my beloved registrar, sir. He is very dynamic registrar who will resolve all the problems, and Osmania University is also very a good teacher and a good researcher. Is a dynamic administrator. So I welcome sir grand on the Department of Law, sir. And I also welcome my beloved colleagues, senior colleagues, and the Dean Faculty of Law, Professor K. Pantana Garu, who is very kind-hearted and accepted for giving vote of thanks. I grand welcome brother Pantanak, sir. You are my beloved brother, elder brother, who is the head of the department, who is the head brother also. Thank you very much for accepting vote of thanks, our beloved head department of law, Professor K. Pantanak Garu. So I also welcome all my colleagues, senior colleagues, and all the colleagues, various, more than 50 universities. The colleagues are participated, more than 50 universities. We are allowed only very few teachers for the Google Meet because remaining all madams Facebook, we all given for all the participants for your Facebook, madam. The Honorable Governor Facebook, we are given for all show. We are shared for allowing them all the participants. Madam, I am expecting more than thousands of the participants are all over India participating in this workshop, madam. This is very important workshop, madam. This is one of the first online workshop, because in the COVID scenario, every aspect of human life is affected. Every administration of justice is affected. Every governance of is affected. So everything is affected, including higher education, particularly Department of Law. So when Department of Law, not only Department of Law, every law fraternity also affected. So how to resolve these challenges? how to resolve the COVID-19 challenges in higher education, especially in higher education, particularly in legal education, because legal education is one of the basic, foundations for, to transform India into a modern, a dynamic nation. Telangana as a dynamic state. Why? Because, madam, because the economical justice, social justice, political justice enshrined by the Constitution of India and guaranteed all these justices by the Constitution of India only from the law fraternity will, give the access to justice for all in all aspects. Even in the pandemic situation of the COVID-19, so many human rights are affected. So many, human life affected, economic life, social life, political life, even labor people are affected. Most victims are labor. So all types of the working class people are affected this crisis, madam. So that is the reason to address all these issues, to educate our teachers and to educate our legal fraternity, law students, law scholars. We are being conducting this program, madam, under RUSA 2.0 project. It is one of the prestigious projects, we Osmania University got it. So our law department established in the year of 1899, madam. So before Osmania University, it was established as a law process. It has become a tutorial for, to making a judges. In the name of PG College of Law, we started Nizam. Honorable Nizam has started this law faculty, law department in the year of 1899 for the promotion of the judicial system in Ashwell, Hyderabad state. So then in 1953, Department of Law was established. But before that only, before Osmania University only, the law department established from the 1899. It's fortunate for you. I became the first Dalit principal in the PG College of Law after 113 years, establishment of PG College of Law, 113 years. So, fortunately, I got an opportunity to transform the entire PG College of Law to compete with the global competition. Madam, during my tenure as a principal from 2012 to 17, our college, PG College of Law, has competed with the global national schools, global schools, already corporate law schools. We got 15th rank, 10 to 15th rank every year. Every year, our college got top 10 ranks, top 10 ranks, top 15 ranks in India. We're competing with the national law schools, competing with the even deemed universities, competing with the corporate law schools. So it is a fortunate for me, madam. I established Ambedkar statue in the history of 100 years history of Osmania University. First time being a principal of the law college, I established Ambedkar statue, Ambedkar library, Ambedkar Research Center. So we have taken inspiration from Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He is the father of Indian Constitution, champion of the social justice and world intellectual. So we have taken his spirit, his knowledge. So that is the reason PG College of Law got top ranks in India, madam. We also conducted first national exhibition like science exhibition. First time in India, no national law schools, no corporate law schools conducted law exhibition except the PG College of Law in India conducted. In 2017, we conducted global seminar. Global seminars, workshops. I too participated in the world conferences and as a teacher, as a student in South Africa as well as in University. A lecture in the Columbia University where Ambedkar studied in the Columbia University. Madam is here. So I personally, our Department of Law, even being a head of the department, we introduced several, internships. From first year onwards, we introduced internships. Now we are conducting 11 LLM programs, LLB, 3YDC, LLB, 5YDC, PGD, 6 PG diploma courses. So no national university of law is conducting this much of courses, madam. So this is the biggest law department, madam. The law department, with all the support of the teachers, with tremendous changes we introduced, madam, in the Department of Law. So the Department of Law produced legal luminaries all over the India, in the Supreme Court, in the High Court judges, even at global level also. So many legal luminaries and experts. Even we produced P.V. Narasimha, great Prime Minister of India, from our college only he studied, madam. And so many experts, academicians also produced from the PG, our Department of Law. Department of Law has a glorious history because we have a very excellent teaching faculty, madam. Excellent teaching faculty which produced the legal luminaries and experts, academicians, politicians, every so what not in the madam. So that is a glorious history of the Usmania University, more than 100 years history. So about Usmania University, our registrar will explain about that, madam, in an inaugural address. So I will explain only the Department of Law. So what is why we are conducting this program, madam? The main purpose to train the participants means the teachers updating their best teaching methodology and practices to analyze the facts of the COVID-19 challenges in different avenues of the legal research and learning, teaching, and research, madam, to understand the impact of new education policy 2020 on legal education, and also to enable participants to understand the role of teachers in effective teaching and learning, enhance the skills of the participants in effective use of the uh, internet communication technology in law teaching and research, madam, because the entire after COVID, it has become a mandatory. The mandate virtual technology has become a very important for doing online classes, even online classrooms, even online thing. Everything has impacted with the virtual life. So even convocation also will do through online with the beloved governor participations. So we now entire system has been changed. After COVID, it has become mandatory methods and to communicate to strengthen the developments of the students. A teacher can change the life of the students. A teacher can change the even entire nation. A teacher can change the shape the entire nation systems. So that is the reason, madam, a law teacher can change the world also, because the law teacher will play the many, very, very important role for changing of the society according to needs of the society, according to needs of the Telangana state. Law college is the only the platform to address these issues that request honorable registrar, our beloved registrar, to give inaugural address.
Good evening to all of you, and Honorable Governor of Telangana, Srimati Nandarajan, and Chancellor Usmania University, Professor Venkatrao Garu, former Chancellor from Bangalore, the Dean Faculty of Law, Professor Padmanak, the Principal University College of Law, Professor Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, Dr. Head Department of Law, other faculty members from the Law Department, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I feel very privileged to be associated with this program, simply because the reason is that our governor, the first citizen of the state, is a part of this program. She has kindly accepted to be the part of this program as the chief guest. Madam, on behalf of our university and on my own behalf, I express my sincere thanks to you, madam, accepting to be part of this program. This kind of, actually, your presence will really enrich this program. Not only enrich, it will encourage us to conduct more such programs. I think you remember, madam, that on 6th of April 2020, you have conducted a video conference with the registrars of all universities, and wherein you have exhorted us to go for online teaching so that the remaining syllabus be completed for the academic year 2019 to 20. And taking the cue from that direction, we have actually given instructions to all our teachers. We have conducted several meetings with the principals, with the deans, and we have given very clear instructions that to taking your name, madam, that governor's wishes that. So we have conducted the online teaching learning activity since then, and we have seen to it that the syllabus is completed. The remaining syllabus is completed for the academic year 1920, so that there should not be any dent on the academic activity, and that the students ultimately they should not lose. Of course, there are some lacunae there wherein the technology, because it involves the technology, And you know that, madam, our students are from remote areas, mostly from rural areas, and the technology access is a problem. And some of them they were not able to actually get this kind of teaching learning this thing. But however, we have seen to it that they were sent the material through various means, not only direct synchronous teaching learning activity, but also through WhatsApp groups. They have found WhatsApp groups, and ultimately we have seen to it that the education is imparted to all the students. And of course, now we are ready to conduct the examinations whenever we are given the consent from the government. And not only that, madam, of course, it is a unprecedented situation. And as per your direction, madam, all our faculty members, not only the law department, all the departments, all the faculties are actively engaged in conducting various programs using the technology, using the online meeting platforms. They are conducting so many webinars, so many symposia, so many workshops, even faculty development programs, some short-term courses. It has been a regular activity actually since the month of April. All our on every day we are having one program or the other program, and the law college particularly has been in forefront, and I appreciate Vinod. I think he has conducted so many programs during this COVID-19 situation, madam. Not only we have a UGC Human Resource Development College, whose mandate is to offer research, refresher and orientation courses to the teachers across the country. Earlier, it used to be through physical mode only, but now because of this situation, we have now switched over to online offering of this refresher and orientation courses. Already, our UGC HRDC has charted a program, drawn out a program, and dates are given. I think first orientation course is already conducted through online. It is a 2 weeks orientation program, madam. So they are also active in conducting the programs. Not only the academic programs, our teachers are also conducting, because now university is a large university. We are having around 3,000 non-teaching employees are there to tone skills, because it's a different kind of situation is now we are facing. And all said and done, we have to use the technology in future. We have to live with the technology. So to make our non-teaching employees also technology enabled, technology enriched, we are also conducting certain programs through online for the non-teaching employees also, madam. And this is all because of your directions, which were given on 6th of April 2020, wherein you have conducted a video meeting with all the registrars, and taking those directions, I think we have shifted, and all our universities, not only Usman University, all the universities are greatly actually benefited by your directions, by your instructions, by your advice, madam. Thank you, madam. I think Governor, madam, taking so much of interest in academics. It's a rare, I should not say, madam, but it's a rare kind of scenario. We are highly thankful to you, madam. We are indeed grateful to you, madam, for your interest in academics. And coming to the present workshop, madam, we all know that legal system in India has been playing very important role in upholding the rule of law. And we know, madam, that before independence, very few universities like Madras University, Bombay University, Banaras Hill University, and of course Usman University were offering legal education. And before independence, our university was offering legal education in Urdu medium. At present, we are within the university where we are having two university colleges. One in the campus, University College of Law. Other is a constituent college at Bashir Bagh, that is PG College of Law. And in addition to that, we are having around 15 affiliated colleges offering law courses at UG level, PG level, and our University College of Law is also offering PG diploma programs in various subjects, madam, in the law. And we are also having an active PhD program in law, which is offered at the university. And around more than, I think, 100 researchers are doing research in various topics of contemporary relevance. And because of not only this, madam, no, the law education and the law research also is they have undergone a major transformation in recent years. because of the globalization, the privatization, the liberalization, and now the legal professionals are most sought after professionals, not only in the judiciary, not only as advocates, but also in various legal firms, various corporates kind of thing. So they are very much needed. Actually, most sought after professionals nowadays. And particularly this unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic has posed a challenge to the people of all walks of life. It can be teachers, it can be students, researchers, advocates, judges. You take any field, all of them are affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. But however, it has also given us an opportunity to revisit the existing systems and to adapt to new methods and techniques. That's what we are doing, madam, in academics. It has also proved the way for all of us to update in our concerned areas of knowledge using technology, using internet, and to equip ourselves in discharging our assigned roles effectively. I assure you, madam, that our university is also in forefront in imparting quality education to the students. And even now, madam, we are having the students, we are getting the students mostly from first generation families, from rural areas, from poor families. We are getting the students. So therefore, it is our mandate, it is our duty that we should give them a quality education and accessible education and quality education. That's what we are doing, madam. And of course, the law department, as we know, said, it's a glorious department. So it has got a very glorious past of more than a century. And also, it is now a vibrant department. I am sure that it will also be having a bright future. It has produced, as we know, many legal luminaries, judges, higher judiciary officers, lawyers, statesmen, activists, academicians, and also, of course, some political leaders of very high repute, madam. And we are also of fond hope that our law faculty will continue to offer quality legal education to the generations to come. And on this occasion, I particularly thank the Department of Law for taking up this initiative to conduct a 10-day workshop program on legal education. And that too, madam, because of your presence, I'm sure that we are all going to be enriched. We are all going to be, actually, it is an encouragement for us, madam. Once again, I'm very much thankful to you for being the part of this program. And I appreciate the Department of Law, and I'm thankful to the organizers for inviting me. And I wish this program, this 10-day program, all the success, madam. I'm sure that all the participants at the end of 10 days will be enriched in their knowledge in the legal education, in the legal systems. Thank you, madam, once again. Thank you very much. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for being a part of the inaugural session. Sir, because without vision and without passion and commitment towards the transformation of higher education of Osmania University, lacks of the students' life have been changed because of your teaching, sir. Because of your senior teacher produced a lot of in the Department of Chemistry also you produced physics or chemistry you produced.
Physics.
So this is one of the very glorious history Osmania University is having. So I thank you, sir, once again for your giving inaugural address, sir. Thank you so much. Now I request Dr. Radhika Yadav, madam, please introduce about the keynote speaker, Professor R. Venkatrao garu.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Her Excellency Dr. Tamil Sai Soundararajan, Governor of Telangana, Professor Gopal Reddy, sir, Registrar Osmania University, and other dignitaries on the platform. I, on behalf of University College of Law, would like to present the achievements of Professor R. Venkatrao, the keynote speaker of the session. Professor Venkatrao is presently the chairman, Vivekananda School of Law and Legal Studies and Vivekananda School of English Studies in Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies, New Delhi. Prior to this, sir has served as the Vice Chancellor of National Law School of India University, Bangalore. After serving for 10 years, 2 months and 21 days as Vice Chancellor, Professor R. Venkatrao sir has laid down the office of Vice Chancellor, National Law School of India, University, Bangalore on 1st August 2019. Sir has been awarded Professor N.R. Madhav Menon Best Law Teacher Award for the year 2018. He also has been awarded the Attorney General K. Parasharan Award in recognition of his outstanding scholarship in legal education by Capital Foundation Society, New Delhi, on 1st September 2019. Till today, he has 42 years of teaching and research experience. Sir has the distinction of receiving gold medal for the best PhD thesis from the Andhra University in 1993, the best researcher award from the Andhra University in 2003, the best teacher award for the government of from the government of the Andhra Pradesh in 2006. He also has been awarded the best Vice Chancellor Award for outstanding contribution to education during the World Chancellors and Vice Chancellors Congress 2014, held on 27 June 2014 at Mumbai. Amity University. Noida also awarded Amity Academic Excellence Award twice, once in 2017 for the most distinguished contribution towards propagation of doctrine of knowledge at the 17th International Business Summit and Research Conference, and again in 2019. Sir has authored 6 books and published more than 130 papers. He has successfully guided 3 LLDs and 20 PhDs and visited more than 30 countries for his academic and research activities. With this brief introduction, I request Vinod sir to take over the proceedings. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Radhika Madam, Vice Principal of the University College of Law, for brief introduction about the best teacher, the best master, the best guru, my guru, Professor R. Venkat Rao Garu. I request Honorable Venkat Rao sir, former Vice Chancellor of the NLU Bangalore, to give keynote address.
Your Excellency, Madam Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan, the Governor of Telangana, the Custodian of Osmania University, the Registrar Dr. Gopal Reddy, Dean Pantnaik, Principal Vijay Lakshmi, Head of Department Professor Vinod Kumar, distinguished fellow participants, above all the 21st century hopes of this wonderful nation, my fellow law students. It's a privilege and honor for me to have been asked to deliver the keynote address in the august presence of a very eminent academician, the Governor of Telangana, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, and for having been conferred this honor, I bow down my head in reverence to the organizers of this function in general and Professor Vinod Kumar in particular. This 10-day workshop on effective teaching, learning, and research in law is going to be a game changer, and it will shift the paradigm of teaching in the post-COVID situation. Only 2 things I would like to mention. In that wonderful introduction, many things have been mentioned about me, but the most important thing of my symbiotic relationship with Osmania University, which is primarily responsible for bringing a metamorphosis in me, was overlooked. Osmania University was the first university to have identified me as the external guide for PhD programs, which has enabled me to guide more than 10 students from Osmania University who successfully could complete it. And for that, I'm always indebted to this wonderful university, which is a citadel of learning. Coming to today's topic, it's true we live in difficult times. And the post-COVID situation is a panic-driven one that has left no institution or no appraisal process untouched. All over the world, all are affected by it. They are affected to such an extent that on 15th July, a very interesting thing happened. The United Nations observed 15th July as World Skills Day, and it has appropriately chosen the theme in the difficult COVID times that for this year's World Skills Day, skills for a resilient youth. And those skills should be skills, scale, and speed. All these 3 should be adopted so that the youth of today will develop self-belief, dedication, and discipline in these difficult times. That's what I said. So what is important today is self-belief, dedication, and discipline. I am reminded of Winston Churchill's words when he was asked to distinguish between a successful person and an unsuccessful person. Winston Churchill said, it's very simple. A successful person always sees an opportunity in a calamity, and an unsuccessful person always tries to find a calamity in an opportunity. Therefore, though COVID is a calamity, we must see an opportunity in that calamity and try to promote the constitutional goals, because legal profession is the only profession to be mentioned in the Constitution of India. No other profession, however great it is, medical profession, engineering profession, finds a place in Constitution of India. Therefore, we are training youngsters for the constitutionally ordained profession called legal profession. And today's law student is going to become tomorrow's professional. And therefore, the first thing that we are required to spread in them, even in these difficult times, is to speak about the greatness of our Constitution, which is today 70 years young. Because Constitution being an institution will never become old. Human beings will become old. And as teachers, we have to spread constitutional culture, constitutional values among the youngsters, because which holy document will have greater enunciation of principles than the preamble of the Constitution of India, which speaks about justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of expression, faith, belief, thought, and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and fraternity assuring the dignity of the individual. Therefore, this constitutional culture should be spread so that feeling for life does not fail. Because teaching and research would fail where feeling for life fails. So, constitutional goals should be spread. And in my opinion, as our Honorable Prime Minister of India always refers to, the other aspect of the Constitution which is very important is the fundamental duties mentioned in the Constitution of India. And the most important duty that is mentioned in the fundamental duties among the 10, now 11, the most important duty is the duty which says to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. Look, it focuses on excellence, but excellence in what? Excellence not only in the product, but excellence in human being. We must make, as Swami Vivekananda has said, all human beings being human, because education is that bridges the distance. And academic excellence without human excellence is always disastrous. Therefore, in these difficult times, when we are taking assistance of technology, even inadvertently, human beings should not be relegated to the background. Therefore, human excellence should be the focused area in teaching, because these difficult situations have made us to understand the advantage of technology. And even prior to COVID, we were living in the days of fourth industrial revolution, robots, artificial intelligence. But you know, the president of World Economic Forum of Davos, Klaus Schwab, said a robot cannot replicate human heart. A robot may replicate human brain, but a robot cannot replicate human soul. Heart is a manifestation of passion and compassion. And therefore, even the age of fourth industrial revolution, even when you take the assistance of robots, human beings should not be relegated into the background. Therefore, the human aspect of legal education in particular and education in general should be the focused area of teaching by teachers. Because teachers, like judges, influence eternity. They rarely die. They never retire. And we deal with youngsters who are like liquids. Youngsters are like liquid. Liquid doesn't have a shape of its own. It assumes the container. So it is for teachers to give that shape of excellence, to give that shape of respecting human values, to give that shape of promoting constitutional culture. Because remember, feeling for life and showing concern for others, this should be the objectives, because that is what our Prime Minister also always focuses. And therefore, we must develop the resilience of what is called legal Darwinism. And if we do not develop that resilience of legal Darwinism, we are likely to become extinct like dinosaurs. Therefore, you develop that resilience of Darwinism, you teach the young students about these values, about 21st century problems. And here, one very important thing that the teachers need to develop is, please remember, 21st century problems require 21st century solutions. And when you are going to provide a 21st century solution, you cannot provide a 21st century solution with a 20th century mindset and a 19th century working tools. And even if 20th century and 21st century working tools are provided to you, suppose you have the caveman's mentality and the 19th century mindset, you cannot find solution. Therefore, Amartya Sen rightly says, a teacher above all others requires what is called open mind. And a teacher, especially in these difficult times, should be creative. And though social distancing has been the norm, remember, human beings crave for social proximity and social connectivity. And we as the teachers are required to maintain that continuous communication with the young student friends. That is very important, because when you do not have that continuous communication in one form or other, young student friends sometimes would feel stressed and they may feel that life has no meaning. You must make them understand life stands for 4 important alphabets. Learn innovation forever. And you communicate with them continuously. And therefore, even when we engage with technology, we should not stop engaging with people. One of the banes of 21st century has been more engagement with technology and less with people. Because we are dealing with a generation which deals with instant gratification. And therefore, the job of a teacher is very formidable. And let me tell you, with all my experience of 42 years, a student will bow down his head before the teacher when he realizes that a teacher is also a student. And for him, a teacher is a role model for all the 24 and 7 hours. 24 into 7 into 365. Therefore, when you are speaking about effective methods of teaching, learning, a teacher should remember 3 important qualities. A teacher should be a lifelong learner, a frontline researcher, and eternal problem solver. You should never be a part of the problem, always a part of the solution. And when you are doing research, remember, research and ethics must shake hands. You must maintain the highest levels of integrity. And I remember former Prime Minister Vajpayee's definition of 2 things. He defined integrity as the coherence between what you think, what you say, and what you do. And he always used to say, integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is watching. And in his typical poetic way, he used to say, though we are following technology and the internet has become very popular, he used to smilingly used to say, internet may be important, but internet is more important than internet. That means all research is futile if it is not allied to internal research. Therefore, teaching with an open mind, research with the truth to conscience and ethics, and eternal pursuit for learning. These 3 should be goals of all the teachers, remember, who are incidentally the first students. A teacher is a student throughout his life. Therefore, in this workshop, let the be taken of taking a pledge that we would try our utmost to promote constitutional values and constitutional culture and make our young friends have passion for what they do and compassion for whom they do. Like you, I have also come here to listen to the erudition Her Excellency, Madam Governor. Therefore, with these few words, permit me to take leave of you. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
So much, sir. Why you have given very excellent innerness rather than interness. How to choose the internet with following the innerness. This is very important aspect of human life, sir. Now I request our beloved Principal Madam Dr. Vijayalakshmi Garu to introduce our beloved Her Excellency about Governor Madam, Dr. Tamil Sai.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the University College of Law, Usmania University, staff and students, a very good evening to Honorable Governor of Telangana and all the dignitaries present and participants. It's my pleasure to introduce Honorable Governor of Telangana State and Chancellor of Usmania University, Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan. Madam was born on 2nd of June 1961 in Nagarkoil city, Kanyakumari district, Tamil Nadu. She is the daughter of well-known politician Sri Kumari Ananthan and Mrs. Ananthan. She got married to a medical professor, Dr. P. Soundararajan, and blessed with a son and a daughter who are doctors now. Madam is a doctor as well as a politician. Excuse me. Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan has completed her MBBS at Sri Ramachandra Medical College, Chennai, PG in Gynecology at the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical College, and she has undertaken special training on ultrasound and fetal therapy at Toronto, Canada. Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan started her career as a medical practitioner after completing her MBBS. Madam is well known as a physician in her local area for more than 30 years. She worked as an assistant professor, Department of Gynecology at Sri Ramachandra Medical College, Chennai for 7 years until 2003, and later she joined in politics as full-time. Madam started her career as a politician as South Chennai District Medical Wing Secretary in 1990 and held various positions in BJP, including State General Secretary, Medical Wing, All India Co-Convener, State General Secretary, State Vice President, and All India National Secretary. She has an illustrious political career in last 2 decades, where she has successfully led the state unit with noteworthy accomplishments. She nurtured great devotion towards and enhancement of living standards of common people with focus on health and education as a primary agenda. She has tuned the heart of being a state head of a political party and steering it with exemplary management skills and pro-people service. Media. BJP cadre fondly called Tamilisai Soundararajan as Shushmaji of Tamil Nadu. As far as academic accomplishments are concerned, Madam has translated a lot of medical and political articles from English to Tamil for major dailies and weeklies. She is also a main translator in BJP for the speeches of all popular national leaders during their visit to Tamil Nadu. Other contributions of Ma'am are: she is the Vice President of Tamil Literary Forum. She is the author of 2 books titled Guidelines to Sonology. She wrote 2 books on our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. One is Achievements of Modi ji, which is written in Tamil, and another one is Modi ji Sri Lankan Visit. Apart from these 2 notable books, she also wrote books titled How to Win Elections, Quotes of Sri Amit Shah ji, a book in Tamil literature, Sips of Tea. Madam is a strong debater and orator, conducted programs for students like public speaking skills and talent development initiatives in a popular Tamil TV channel for 10 years. Madam has conducted social service activities like women empowerment, health programs, and medical camps for women. She was the director, independent charge for Bharat Petroleum Corporation of India till 1st September 2019. Coming to international achievements, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan is a proud recipient of an international award titled International Rising Star of the Year 2018, awarded by Multi-Ethnic Advisory Task Force USA under US Congressman Danny K. Davis for her services to the society, especially in the field of politics, public, and medical services. Madam is known for her strong advocacy towards upliftment of living standards of people through better health and preventive care. She is a great admirer of social and cultural strengths of our country and compassionate towards inclusion of values and humility rights at the basic education system and upwards. Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan happens to be very focused towards development of society and well-being of the citizens even at last mile. At present, Madam is the Governor of Telangana State and she is the first woman to act as Governor of the state. With this few introduction, I welcome Honorable Governor of Telangana State and Chancellor of Osmania University to the 10-day national workshop on effective teaching, learning, and research in law COVID-19 challenges. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, madam, for your excellent introduction about an excellent dynamic, Her Excellency, Madam Soundararajan Garu. She's having a lot of resume history as a teacher, as a writer, as a writer, dynamic debater, leader. So many qualities. I welcome Madam because of your Telangana. We have fortunate the Telangana state. Osmania University is fortunate to have a very, 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 very multifaceted, dynamic leader. Governor is Madam is we are having. So, so Madam, we are expecting also so many aspirations from you, Madam, because since 1 year there is no vice chancellors. Since more than 6 years and more than 10 years also there is no recruitment. Even since 6 years, even no single contract and outsourcing also, not at all the employees are there. So many problems are there, higher education is facing, madam. Under your dynamic leadership, we hope definitely we will resolve the problems. I hope, madam, definitely we will resolve some problems by the dynamic leadership of the Honorable Governor, Dr. Tamila Soundararajan Garu. I grand welcome on behalf of the Department of Law and the participants, from the experts, from various parts of the country. I grand welcome our beloved Governor Dr. Tamilisai Garu to address the chief guest as a chief guest.
Very special good evening to each and everyone who got connected with this 10 days online workshop on effective teaching, learning, research in law in COVID-19 challenges. I really appreciate the organizers for organizing such a wonderful workshop. I should say 10 days online workshop on effective teaching, learning and researching. It is almost similar to religious Dasara. I can say this is educational Dasara you are going to celebrate in this COVID situation. And you should have some commitment and courage to conduct a 10 days workshop. So I really appreciate, and I appreciate the words of Vinod Kumar, Professor Dr. Vinod Kumar, Head of Department of Law of Osmania University. And I can visualize his commitment in this, not only in this department, in this teaching, and I should appreciate him. As he said, he organized the statue of Honorable Ambedkar, the father of Constitution. I should say, when our Honorable Prime Minister, when he spoke about the Constitution in the Parliament, he said, the holy book of mine is the Constitution of India. And when here we are talking about technology, and because our Honorable Prime Minister foresaw such situations and he introduced technology, particularly app. Nowadays, the app payment, the online payment has taken the front seat because we are all locked down. What all the necessary things we should buy, it's always on online. But well ahead, he thought of it and he introduced an app after the demonetization. And he named that app, honoring our Honorable Ambedkar, the Beam app. This Bhima Rao Ambedkar's name, he organized that, coined the name Beam app. So I should say how this country, how our Honorable Prime Minister respects our Constitution and the father of Constitution, Baba Saheb Ambedkar, and the branch of law, I should say. And I appreciate the words of Dr. Professor Gopal Reddy. I always admire his commitment. And as it is said here, he's a good teacher and his commitment towards the education. When there was a problem in getting the RUSA funds, when I called him, immediately he came to Raj Bhavan, explained it, and because of his immediate action, we could get the RUSA funds. So when a teacher, a registrar should be such a committed person, and you should appreciate his commitment and his dedication, and he has set an example how a registrar should be. So I always appreciate his service. And
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And I really admired the words of our former Vice Chancellor from Bangalore, our Venkat Rao, Professor Venkat Rao. His each and every word I enjoyed, particularly as he said, you may be a doctor, you may be a lawyer, but you must be a human being first.
Yes.
So when Professor Madam Vijay Lakshmi, for her long introduction, she told a few words. It's quite a long introduction. I don't want such long introductions. And I'm thankful to that. But as she said, apart from being a doctor, writer, or speaker, I should say I'm a good human being. That's all. Actually, that adds my stone, this diamond on my crown than any other qualification which I have. And another thing, I am fortunate to be the governor of Telangana. It's not, the state is fortunate because I love the state and by tradition, by culture, and the people, they are so lovable and I really love to be. So my service should be there. And my respects to Professor Pant Naik, who is going to give the vote of thanks. And as our registrar, Sir Gopal Reddy, Professor Gopal Reddy, mentioned here, we should be very proud because of our interaction with all the registrars. Well ahead in the month of April, we are the first state to start the online classes than any other state in the country. And when any other states have thought of processing it, we have almost completed our at least 25 to 30% of our class.
Yes.
So as we started well ahead, we were able to find the flaws in that, and we were able to find out who are all not connected. The 60% of them connected, 40% really had some problem in getting the online classes. But because for them, we made the professors took efforts to give digitalized libraries, digitalize their lessons through WhatsApp, email, and to enlighten them with other education systems. Somehow they reached them with the help of the friends and with the help of the other people, with the teachers. So I should say I'm very proud of the education system in Telangana. But at the same time, I want the higher education system in Telangana to reach the topmost place in the country. So only we are continuously putting our efforts, and as it is said, there are some problems the higher education is facing. Example, the loss of recruitment and the appointment of vice chancellors, which I have appealed as a chancellor to the Honorable Chief Minister. And he has told he will to look into it because the the government is also now busy with the COVID and now the floods. And definitely it is my interaction with all the registrars, 14 universities, continuously we interacted, and I compiled all the points of the discussion, and I have given personally to the Chief Minister. And one among the topmost among the request was the please appointment of the Vice Chancellors. So definitely the process has taken, and then we have informed the government, and government is also will do it. But because of the problems now we are facing due to COVID, it may be delayed, but it won't be denied. And I should say after COVID, whatever may be the lifeline, now the online classes are the lifeline of education. It has become the lifeline of education. And as it is said, this opportunity is always, setbacks always create some opportunities. Like that, we have now, as it is said, I myself have conducted 2 convocations, online convocations. And I wanted to encourage online internships.
Yes, ma'am.
So now the online process is also, it is, as it is said, it is metamorphosed so that in different situation it takes. The lockdown is only for the educational institutions, but not for education. So I appreciate all the registrars and the academicians. In spite of the lockdown situation, they didn't hesitate to involve themselves in the teaching system. Initially, the online classes had so much of difficulties. Even the students, if we are face to face itself, we are unable to sometimes manage the students, and making them to sit for a long time, making them to study and to create and to maintain the study material. It's really a difficult job, but I should congratulate all the universities in Telangana. They did in a very exemplary way. And I have informed our honorable, before it is known as HRD ministry, now it is the education ministry. And I have informed the education ministry that the education system and the academicians, in spite of, as it is said, vacancies, whether it is VC or in teaching or non-teaching faculty, and the number, even though with less number, they are doing more work. That I have clearly mentioned, and UGC also understands that. So I really proud of the higher education system and the academicians and the registrars and the present vice chancellors who are all involved in that. And as chancellor, I conducted a Connect the Chancellor program to connect the students, because the students who were all sitting in the house, so they had ample time to put their thoughts in positive way. So we conducted, and 8,000 students participated in that. Then according to the situation law, as it is said in the constitution, as our Professor Venkat Rao mentioned, the profession of even the other professions are not mentioned, whether it is health or other professions, but law took a very important role. And even the judges and the legal system, actually the common man see and expects it as the final solution, which could give him, he thinks that like a god, like as we are protecting the life of the human beings, you are protecting the properties and their lifeline of their problems. So they view judges and the lawyers as gods. But I should say that even though I always think that there should be some reforms in the legal system also. The most popular words, which is sentence which says justice delayed is justice denied.
Yes.
So I think the system should be improved so that the justice should be rendered him at an earliest, so that he can enjoy the fruitfulness of the justice. Such things, and then language problem the ordinary man faces when he comes to the court, and the legal system and the judgment and everything should be understandable to that common man. These are things I have already, a lot of time I used to think about those things. And I should say 2000 years back itself, our Thiruvalluvar, in 2 lines, he has told about justice. He told, investigating intensely, leading fairly, without unduly favoring anyone, analyzing and acting constitute justice. Within 2 words, ஓர்ந்து கண்ணோடா திரை புரிந்து யார் மாட்டும் தேர்ந்து செய் வக்தே முறை. 2000 years back, he told what is justice means: investigating intensely, leading fairly, without unduly favoring anyone, analyzing and acting constitute justice.
Great.
So the whole constitution he has mentioned in 2 lines.
Wow.
And the same Thiruvalluvar, he says that the topic of that 10 Tirukural itself, justice only. This is the first Kural of that topic, and the final Kural of that topic says, a king punishing severely those brutal murderers is akin to clearing the weeds from the crops. For all the problem murderers and other people who are involved in so much of problems and corruption, theft, then clearing them is equal to clearing the weeds. These all within 2 lines he has just projected the beauty of law. So I should say each and every one, as it is clearly said here, unless a lamp is lighted, it cannot light other lamp. So a candle should be in a burning situation to light the other candles. So a teacher should be continuously learning. A teacher should be a teacher who is not learning continuously cannot teach the students who wants to learn continuously in their life pattern, in the life. So that only I laud the present national education policy, who made reforms in the education of the students, but also made reforms in the teaching, training of the teachers also. We have all lauded great teachers. We have seen great teachers. But I should say, even I was a teacher in a medical college. In between, we didn't see teachers like that. Usually when we were all teachers, when we saw our teachers, they used to collect all the informations, reading so many books. Like a bee collecting honey. They read hundreds of books. And they collect everything like the bee collecting the honey. And they gave us the sweet lessons. In between, we can say, if a teacher teaches a lesson, we used to think we cannot find the teachings from any book, because they made their efforts. They were so much, they put their efforts to collect all the teaching material. But in between, in the midst of some of the period, we can say the teacher, if she comes or if he comes and teaches, we can say from where she has taken. Just she will vomit the same one of the topics which we can easily the student himself can reach out. So I really appreciate, because of that only the knowledge we collect from different places. And now the law has other departments, like previously when we were studying, we know about fever, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, neurological disease. But now we are facing the disease of the IT people, continuously sitting, continuously online, and continuously doing their work. That circadian rhythm is altered. So like that, now we are facing, the law department is facing the cyber crime, the cyber problems, and the insults and the problems that women are facing due to the Facebook, the Twitter, and online. So even this law department has to take some other position. So everyone, it should be regenerated and revamped, so that the present situation is faced. These are the situations which we didn't see previously. So I really appreciate, because of this situation and the problem we are facing. And as it is said, it's not easy to deal with the people in the present situation, because now even the political solutions, social solutions, the reservations, and even temple entry, everything actually viewed to the judgment of the court. So everything is expected from the court. The solution is expected from the court. And it is known as the final verdict, because even the political turmoil, which creates a very big constitution, when the court says, even the opposition parties, even the who are all creating problems, accept it is the court word of court. So it creates peace among the people. So this greatest responsibility the law department has on the society, and I really appreciate the efforts of the Osmania University. As it is said, I learned that this Osmania Law Department is much older. It is actually it was established in the year 1899, before the establishment of the Osmania University, which was established in the year of 1918. So it is the oldest law department in the country. And I should say that it has produced so much of stalwarts, judges, administrators, statesmen, as it is said, politicians. And as the human life standard is expanding, before the litigations only due to for property, for some murders, and some for some political solutions. But as it said, now the greatest challenge is as the human life and living standards are expanding, and the gadgets and technologies have become the part of our life, and living the types of litigations and legal issues are to also getting tricky, which were unheard earlier. These kinds of situations are the reasons for the legislative body to come up with new legislations to maintain rule of law, prevent exploitation, and delivery of justice. Here I want to highlight the new issues like cyber crimes, cyber cheating, online trolling, cyber bullying, cyber frauds, hacking, cyber stalking, digital character assassination, which have led the enactment of Information Technology Act and its constant revision. This is the present, this is the highest challenge, not only the society, the law department also facing the cyber crime. And I should say, as I said already, the delaying in the judgments, the delaying in the verdicts, really it should be thought of, corrected. There should be some reforms in the Department of Law, and I really appreciate the organizers for organizing such workshops, because the depth of knowledge we gain during our internship, during our training, during our education, during our college days, really the treasure in our mind, that is the bank of treasure which we collect. And now I appreciate, because now the students are very calm and they are leisurely having time to have that intelligence and have the time to accept the teachings, and to use the timing of when they are not going to the colleges, and when they are inside their houses, and they are in their houses, it's very actually this is very useful for them. So I really appreciate, and this is in this context, the law and the teachers in the law college play a very constructive role. And I really appreciate the department, law department at the Osmania University for organizing this program. And I appreciate really Professor Gopal Reddy, Professor Venkat Rao, and Professor Vinod Kumar, and Professor Pantnaik, Professor Vijay Lakshmi for taking this very excellent program. And as I said, it is 10-day, this online research program, teaching program. It is the like religious Dasara, it is the education Dasara, and I wish the program all success. And this after the 10 days program, the students' mind and brain filled with knowledge of law, and I appreciate it and I inaugurate the 10-day online program a grand success. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, madam, for a wonderful and excellent presentation, chief guest address, by exposing all the facets of the human life and also law. The justice denied, justice delayed, and justice denied. So this is a wonderful, that is the reason only access to justice has given for everybody. But unfortunately, because of delay and pendency of the cases, justice delayed and denied. That is the main lacuna of the judiciary system, madam. But even though, madam, recently during COVID-19, we conducted a international global seminar on discrimination. Various facets we discussed about what you said, justice delayed and justice denied in the COVID scenario at the global perspectives. The UN Secretary General has appreciated as our effort. 17 countries are participated in that conference. Very recently, we conducted under the Department of Law. So, madam, definitely we are also introducing from this academic year criminal justice system and human rights law, criminal justice system. In the previously also we introduced the cyber law, cybercrime. Even in the 2017, I conducted a law exhibition by involving 17 departments, including police department, and how cyber crimes are happening, how to combat the cyber crimes. So what are the role of a police and what are the role of citizens? So many issues we discussed, madam. In future also we'll do with your blessings. Definitely, the law department will be prosperous and progress in all aspects to address the state issues as well as the national issue and the global issues also, madam. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation as a chief guest, madam. Thank you so much for blessing us and grace the occasion. Now I request our head department of law, Dr. Pantanayak sir, and give the message and propose the vote of thanks.
The occasion of on the occasion of conclusion of the inaugural session, it is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks. At the outset, I extend our sincere gratitude to Her Excellency Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Honorable Governor of State of Telangana and Chancellor of Usmania University, for inaugurating this 10-day online workshop on the effective teaching, learning, and research in law and COVID-19 challenges, and for the delivering an inspiring address. Madam, we are grateful to you for gracing these inaugural functions and for motivating hundreds of law teachers, law students, and law advocates and law researchers. We thank Professor Venkat Rao, eminent professor of law and former Vice Chancellor, National Law School, Bangalore, for delivering a futurist keynote address. Thank you, sir, for inaugurating all of us by your presence and valuable address. I thank Professor C.H. Gopal Reddy Garu, Registrar, Usmania University, for delivering a wonderful inaugural address. We thank Sri Aravind Kumar IS and Vice Chancellor of Usmania University, his support. We thank Sri Naveen Mittal IAS and Commissioner of Colleges and Technical Education, Government of Telangana. And I thank for the Special Officer RUSA, Professor Sriram Venkatesh, Nodal Officer RUSA, and Dr. Gali Vinod Kumar, Head Department of Law, Usmania University, and Coordinator for this workshop. Dr. B. Vijaya Lakshmi, RUSA coordinator in Law College, OU, and all other dignitaries, fellow teachers, participants, and scholars, press and media for making this inaugural functions has a great success. Thank you for all of you. Thanks, Vinod.
Thank you so much. Now I request kindly national anthem, please.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you all of you for wonderful success of inaugural function. Thank you so much. Thank you, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, madam, for your kind presence over here and spare a lot of your valuable time. And thank Professor Venkatesha and everybody. Thank you, Gopal sir. Thank you, Vandanath sir. Thank you, Vijayalakshmi madam and Radhika madam. Everybody, thank you. Good night. Good night, all of you. Thank you so much for being part of this wonderful occasion.